What's going on? It's Astronaut H, and this is the What More Do You Want Network. Now, in this video, I will be discussing tonight's game between the Chicago Bulls and New York Knicks, and of course, this is my Bulls report. Now, the Chicago Bulls are coming off of a game in which they lost versus the Philadelphia 76ers, so they are on a back-to-back facing off against the New York Knicks. A team in the Knicks who just acquired OG Anunoby, and a team in Chicago who have been playing pretty much really well over the course of the last month of basketball, I will say. Still a lot of basketball left in the regular season. Still a lot of question marks. The return of Zach LaVine seems imminent at this point. So in this game, you want to see the Bulls just go out there after being absolutely bludgeoned by the Philadelphia 76ers, a game where the Bulls pulled the plug relatively, early in the second half. So in this game, you really seen in the beginning of the game, you seen a team where the Bulls, they just couldn't get their offense going pretty much early, but you did see the defense and them able to get out and run relatively because of guys like Alex Caruso. You did see the offense of DeMar DeRozan early emerging, but the Knicks were hitting a lot of threes, mainly open threes. I just attest that to the Bulls not being able to get their perimeter defense going. But again, like I said, early on in the first quarter, you did see a lot of DeMar DeRozan, offense, as well as Kobe White, Alex Caruso being irritant, if you want to say that, on the defensive end, which was causing the Knicks to turn the ball over a lot in the first half of the game. Julius Randle didn't really have a prototypical, first half for him, but guys like, Dante DiVincenzo, you look at Quentin Grimes, you look at guys like, like I said, OG Anunoby, but in the first half, the Chicago Bulls did find themselves with the lead at halftime. And honestly, it was a tale of two halves, because in the first half, I looked at the game and I'm like, okay, the Bulls are able to get what they wanted. They looked like a team that was flowing offensively. They were causing turnovers. The Knicks were turning the ball over. And the Bulls just looked like a team that played a great 24 minutes of basketball. Now, in the second quarter, it was pretty much what the Knicks wanted. They were able to do what they wanted in the second half. They were able to basically outshoot the Bulls. The Bulls were up by 4 at the end of the second quarter, but to no avail. The Chicago Bulls just could not figure out, how to stop the Knicks' onslaught of offense in the third quarter. Mainly, the Knicks outscored the Bulls, and in a fashion that when I look at the box score and I look at how the game, went in the second half, it looked like two totally different teams. Now, granted, the Knicks weren't turning the ball over to the same effect, but I feel like the Bulls' overall defense as a team didn't turn it up as to the same effect as that they could have in the second half. I just feel like, when you look over the highlights and you look at what could have been, if you are a Bulls fan, it just looked like Julius Randle was taking over more of the brunt of the scoring in the second half for the New York Knicks. And the Bulls really didn't have an answer for him. Not only him, but also Hartenstein on the rebounding tip, as well as, like I said, the others. You still had Jalen Brunson, who had a pretty good showing in the second half. But Julius Randle was the main focus offensively for the New York Knicks, that the Bulls just could not figure out how to, stop him, as I would say. But again, when you look over these highlights and you look over what could just the Bulls were not able to do, I just think they just didn't have enough offensively. Guys like Javon Carter just didn't have it going tonight. Ayo Dosunmu didn't have it going tonight. And it was pretty much the tell of the game, how the rest of the game went. But you did see a good offensive showing from Kobe White. He had a few highlight plays, especially a dunk over Dante DiVincenzo early, not early, but in the third quarter. But again, like I said, I just feel like the Knicks pretty much outplayed the Chicago Bulls from quarters 3 and 4 and just got out there, just ran, especially from the perimeter. And I think that was the game, honestly. Seeing them get to the lane, seeing them get to the rim, seeing them hit a lot of threes, which ultimately led to them getting the lead late and ultimately winning the game and, finding a way to beat the Chicago Bulls tonight. Like I said, the Chicago Bulls found themselves on just the losing end of tonight's matchup, especially late in the game, and just couldn't put it together versus this New York Knicks team. And the final score was 116-100. The Chicago Bulls have now dropped their last 2 games. Will face off against a Charlotte Hornets team in their next game. And like I said, the Chicago Bulls do look to get Zach LaVine back at some point within the next few games, I believe. I'm hearing that LaVine will be back in the game versus the Hornets. So it's going to be interesting to see how this team fares with LaVine back in the rotation, in the starting lineup, if he's going to be on minutes restriction or whatever the case may be. But is this team without LaVine, we have seen them play to a certain level. But this team without LaVine, hasn't. We know, well, at least I'm going to speak for me, right? With LaVine, we know what this team is capable of. Without LaVine, we've seen what this team has been capable of. So, when you break down a team like Chicago, who's, not, they're on the outside looking in right now. So, with LaVine, will that make them a contender? No. But you need his 20 points per night. I know it may come at the cost of regression for Kobe White, but you need that offense. That's just what it is. I would have liked to see the Bulls win this game. They were, like I said, they were in it early. They just could not find a way to piece it together late. And that's what happens, especially on a back-to-back. But turn it around. We'll see what happens in their next outing. I think the Chicago Bulls will fare well, in their next game against a team in the Charlotte Hornets who, in my opinion, aren't the best, but you cannot look over them. They're in a midst of hardship themselves, so we'll see exactly what happens in that next game. That will be Friday. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Bulls fans, Knicks fans, NBA fans, or if this is just your first time tuning into this channel, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can know anytime a video is being uploaded to this channel. It's Astronaut H. This is the What More Do You Want Network, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.